The news on point.
Thank you for joining us. Let's take a quick look at the news. I'm Lynn Komjisha. Presidential candidate Robert Kyagulanyi Centre of the National Unity Platform has accused police of blocking him from accessing his planned rally venue in Chegengwa district. Kyagulanyi today resumed his campaign from Toro region days after he was arrested in Luka district. Kyagulanyi says whereas he had planned to address supporters at Humura in Chegengwa town, the police had diverted him to Chibuye Trading Center. Kyagulanyi also accused the police of not allowing him to address his cheering, waiting supporters that stood by the roadside, threatening and arresting some of his candidates in Toro region. Vincent Twesje, the Rwenzori region police spokesperson, says Kyagulanyi's campaign venue at Humura was sealed off after realizing that the campaign activity would affect the flow of traffic and business in the area. Now, relatedly, presidential hopeful Robert Kyagulanyi Centre will not be allowed to drive through the busy centre of Fort Portal tourism city. Kyagulanyi has started his campaign trail in the Rwenzori region and has so far addressed supporters in Kibuye in Chegengwa district. He also expected to make a stopover in Chenjojo district before Fort Portal tourism city. In Kawarore, Kyagulanyi will address supporters at St. Leo's Playground Chinyamasika. Festus Bandeva, Deputy Resident District Commissioner Kawarore, says security has already inspected and cleared the venue. According to Mandela, Kyagulanyi will address regulated supporters. Now, the Ministry of Labour, Gender and Social Development has issued guidelines for registration of non-unionized workers and participation in sub-county municipality divisions and parliamentary elections. The Permanent Secretary, Agri Chibega, said the Ministry and the Electoral Commission are working hand-in-hand to hold these elections from 25th to 27th at division level to choose 10 members from each of the 4 regions, and 3 of these must be women. Later, those voted will hold a conference to vote 10 out of the 40 to represent workers in the 11th Parliament on the 5th of December. Kibega adds that each of these members must be a citizen of Uganda, a registered voter, 18 years and over, and must have a national ID, employed with a verifiable contract, and a non-member from the registered labour unions.
Registration of all willing non-unionized workers at sub-county, town council and municipality levels, which will be conducted this week from Wednesday 25th to Friday 27th of November. That means that whoever misses out that process of registration will not be eligible to participate in the elections of the non-unionized workers. After that, we will convene conferences of all the willing non-unionized workers at sub-county, town council and municipality levels to enable the Electoral Commission to conduct elections of the 10 representatives, and this will take place on Friday, 4th December.
In sports news, the Uganda under-20 national team, the Hippos, is set to face South Sudan in a Group B encounter of the Sekafa Under-20 Championship today in Arusha, Tanzania. The game kicks off at 4 p.m. local time as the two sides seek the early advantage in a group that also has Eritrea and Burundi. Hippos head coach Molly Biakwaso says he's aware of what South Sudan can pull off following the recent performance against the Uganda senior side. The Bright Stars defeated the Cranes by 1-0 in Kenya.
We are playing Sudan, which is a very, very tough side. We saw it when they played the senior side. They have developed a lot in these past years, and we think they are going to be a threat because they are using a lot of players from Uganda. They know our style. But God willing, I think we shall perform well because the boys have worked. We have got the combination plays. We have got the love, the togetherness. I think God will reward us through our hard work.
In other news, African Union envoy is appointed to mediate in the conflict between Ethiopia's government and the northern Tigray state will not visit the war-hit region, a senior aide to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed said. AU President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa on Friday appointed former Mozambican President Joaquim Chissano, former Liberian President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and former South African President Kgalema Motlane as special envoys to mediate the crisis. But a senior advisor to Ethiopia's Prime Minister has said the three former presidents will only meet Mr. Abiy. In health news, babies under the age of 5 are more at risk of serious infection if they were born by cesarean section rather than vaginal delivery. Researchers found that cesarean births mean that babies are not exposed to the good bacteria in their mother's birth passage. Such bacteria, which can also be transferred after birth via breastfeeding and through early skin-to-skin contact, help to bolster newborns' immune responses. Despite the small increase in the risk of early infection, the researchers caution that cesarean births can still be the safest option for some women and babies. C-sections rates have almost doubled since the year 2000, with experts estimating that some 6.2 million non-medically indicated C-sections are performed each year. During vaginal birth, the baby comes into contact with normal bacteria from the mother's gut and vagina. Babies born by cesarean section have much less exposure to this bacteria. Infection is the leading cause of early childhood hospitalization, and the new research should help them understand why. Prior to the present study, it was not clear whether cesarean birth was linked with higher risks of any infection or only of certain types, and whether such risks might differ between emergency and pre-labor cesarean operations.
XFM News on point.